Well, I'm sorry I'm not as tall as my predecessor. And just for you not to be confused, I'm not an Air Force guy. I'm a French admiral, and you will be sure about that, because being a French admiral means that you are never in the good suit and that you have a very bad level in English. So nevertheless, also as a sailor, I must confess that I spent more than 20 years as a fighter pilot in the Navy, and mainly on board the aircraft carriers. I spent also 10 additional years dealing with operation, in commanding 2 ships, and occupying also several posts in the ops domain, mainly at operational and strategical level. So actually, I'm Deputy Chief of Staff Operation at the Joint Force Command Naples, and in this job I have been asked 2 years ago when arriving to address the challenges NATO is facing toward the south with a 360-degree approach, while being able to decide immediately and to react efficiently. Great job, no? So, for me, it was at least a huge challenge, and my intent is to present it to you as if I were a great philosopher who is watching it, analyzing it, and trying to understand it, to identify with you the added value air power can provide to my Cornelian problem. First of all, the Joint Force Command Naples, as a fighting headquarters, surprisingly does not have any joint operation area, but a so-called implementation area that is growing more and more. And as you can see on the map here, that is my garden, the NATO border in this region is mainly blue. The Mediterranean Sea, you know it certainly, is strategically vital to our trade as well as to our operations. Moreover, it can be divided in 7 entities, very different among them. Between Gibraltar and the Strait of Sicily, the western basin is right now the quieter one. Next to it, the Central Med is characterized by several illegal activities. The more you enter in East Mediterranean, the more you face tensions, especially at sea and in the air, until arriving in the Middle East, where fights are ongoing, involving several NATO countries and a NATO mission in Iraq. In the north, the Black Sea establishes a link with the northern problematics of the alliance, mainly due to the Russian presence, obviously. Slightly westbound, the Balkans still include an area of operation for NATO. Finally, toward the south, riparian states whose institutions are fragile and appear as a hyphen with the unstable Sahel. Because of its geographical diversity, our implementation area is characterized by a lot of threats to the alliance. Beyond the ongoing conflicts and destabilized areas such as East Ukraine, obviously, Syria and Libya, and the Sahel more into the south, the risk of instability are growing, mainly alongside the southern coast of the Mediterranean Sea, since the Arab Spring. Moreover, overall instability factors threaten the quietness of the region. You are more than aware about the endemic migration, nowadays mainly in Central and Western Med, including human trafficking. It is worth to add that other illegal activities such as drugs, arms, and oil trafficking occur everywhere in the area. I also have to mention the problem of the returnees evading from the warfighting areas toward Europe, which link with an overall terrorist threat born in our area of interest and stressing our European democracies. Finally, you certainly know that more and more The military presence of non-resident countries is being growing for the last decade, which increases sometimes the threat level in the theater. It is worth beginning with the Russians, also if not really outsiders. Their actual level of activity highlights their wish to recover their status of great power after more than 2 decades of absence. Less understandable, the Chinese, the Indians, the Iranians increasing their presence in the area, for instance, especially at sea, and it begs some question and must be monitored. For example, is this Chinese presence only linked with their aggressive economic activity in Europe and in Africa? No answer. So to conclude this overview around our implementation area, I would emphasize that it is definitely at risk. The threats we are facing are not only potential ones, but they are actual, spread throughout the theater, and not necessarily posed by state actors. All of them are able to certainly threaten NATO. Moreover, should one of them rise at any point of the region, it would be at less than 1 hour flight time from our borders. Therefore, time factor is critical. In this context, GFC Naples, as one of the 2 combat-ready headquarters at operational level in the Alliance, maintains a 360-degree approach and remains able to intervene everywhere within the secure area of responsibility. Every other year, we are in alert for the NATO response force and have been certified last year during the main exercise Trident Juncture in Norway. So 2019 is our tour of duty. Considering the permanent evolution of the international scene, our Joint Force Command is adapting continuously to be as efficient and reactive as the situation requires. The main evolution underway is called NATO Command Structure Adaptation, NCSA, and it is described in the Secure Strategic Thoughts as well as in the future NATO strategy or joint C2 concept. We will be implementing enhanced capabilities in the Joint Effects Framework, but also in targeting cyber and psychological operations. Additionally, following the concept of implementation area, looking like an area of responsibility, for being very frank with you, we will further develop an enhanced regional expertise based on closer relationships with the different actors and on an enhanced situational awareness while better tracking every day, every week signals in our implementation area. This ongoing evolution aims at being ready to fight tonight from the baseline activities and current operation level up to the maximum level of effort. As we are at the operational level, our main duty is to coordinate the jointness of the effects produced by every single NATO force provider until taking the lead as soon as a crisis is developing. We already take benefit from a trans-domain expertise. Our effectiveness relies on an accurate knowledge about every activity in all domains and implies to strengthen our links with SHAPE, but also with the Single Service Command, mainly AIRCOM and MARCOM, that are also developing a theater component commanders capability, and hopefully soon with a network of national headquarters. Currently, all these links are not optimal, but we are improving every day. And for example, late last year in December and very recently in April, we've been conducting 2 focus collection activities with 48 hours notices in the Black Sea in December and in Libya in April. Satellites, UAVs, air and maritime assets coming from a great number of nations, I believe there were 16 last time, have been involved and coordinated successfully. Moreover, since September 2017, we host at the GFC Naples the hub for the South. It is neither a J-code of the GFC, nor a fighting headquarter, or a new name for an intelligence or partnership branch, but a team of 80 members analyzing the problematics through multiple axes, thinking out of the box, and highlighting our comprehensive understanding of the potential theaters, the potential threat on the theater of operation. And as a Joint Force Command Naples representative in charge of conducting the operations, every dimension is obviously important. And I think every single day, at the most interesting and effective combinations between land, sea and air assets within a cyber and information-driven environment, but among them, air power is obviously key. Let me propose you some of my dreams about it. As a former fighter pilot, I know the importance of the air, at least because it covers exactly 100% of the theater. I dream I could gather every second the huge amount of information the air dimension is able to detect on the real threats we are facing and allows hitting them with a great accuracy. I integrate in my dream the responsiveness of the air forces for lifting instantaneously troops and logistics in every point of the implementation area, or for addressing immediate threats with effectiveness. Timely answer is your best trump card in our unpredictable theater. At the same time, as soon as I dream aeronautically, I think complementarity with the other domains. I dream about air superiority established by cooperative engagement, including artillery, A2AD bubbles or safe areas around maritime task groups, highlighted by AB3Cs, etc. I build crazy combinations with fighters and helicopters, airstrikes, departing simultaneously from the shore and, well, slightly later from the carriers, controlled by surface ships far away from our coasts, handing over to land forces close to the targets, supported by cruise missiles launched from submarines. Your flexibility and your adaptability in this domain are paramount. Then, as a former amphibious guy, I also dream about protecting and supporting from the air an amphibious assault in a non-permissive enemy territory. Everybody trust your combat power, be proud of it, and be efficient in using it. To conclude, if you follow my dreams, you certainly understand that the air power is not only an option for NATO, particularly at joint and operational level. Especially in the Mediterranean theater, GFC Naples is more than happy every time it receives contributions for building its SA, happy to share with the different actors in the area, to provide its regional expertise and to support as much as possible, including in baseline activities and current operations. Further, we remain ready to take the lead at joint level immediately and have plenty of ideas for taking the best profit from air power and to use it widely. And finally, I must confess a lack of humility at the beginning of my speech. I'm definitely not a Greek philosopher. And I would let you meditate on this French proverb: l'ambition de réussir est presque toujours un gage du succès. So in English, for the non-natives, the ambition to succeed is almost always the omen of success. Thank you very much.